Good afternoon, beautiful people. Firstly, I want to apologize for the extreme delay, but unfortunately a lot of things have happened, and it just hasn't been possible for me to get this out sooner. So I am going to endeavor to get this all completed today, and hopefully, if I get time, uploaded tonight. If not, I'll be able to get it uploaded tomorrow morning. So that is my goal, hopefully to have it up here Thursday. Alright, so where we left off was we had finished completing all the pockets and everything that we needed for the bag. So we are now up to step 8. So yeah, we're up to prepare bag front and back, which is step 8, part A. And what we need to do, and I think I've got a lot of shadow, because the house that we got is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very lovely house. The room I've got is beautiful. Would like it to be bigger, but it is what it is. And I have a gorgeous window behind me. Here, let me just show you. Look at that lovely, massive, big window. And I get a lot of light, so I'm seriously thinking about moving my cutting table over here where the sewing machine is. But then that means I have to move this desk to this corner. And yeah, so it's a lot of work and I just haven't done it yet. This is where it got put when we first moved. And you know how it is when you go into a house and you're trying to figure out where you sort of want everything. And you just put it there to get it done. 1 second, please. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, as I was saying, I had already done the front part of the bag. And I searched tirelessly for my memory cards, which I eventually found, only to find that for some reason there was no recording. It hadn't recorded. So I got in yesterday and I unpicked it all. So I took it all off, took it apart, and today we're going to put it all back together. So what we need to do first step is mark lines. Now let me see if I can bring you guys in closer. Alrighty, there we go. Now on here, it might be a bit hard to see, but I have 3 lines. I have one, then I have the other one there, and then I have another one here. So we've got to get in and measure from here in, and it gives you 3 measurements. I would love to be able to tell you, you know, the measurements and everything like that, but I really don't want to, you know, I feel if a designer puts in the work for the pattern, you know, they should receive the benefit from selling the pattern. And I feel because of the way Annie does her things, if I was to give you guys all the measurements, then people wouldn't need to go out and buy the pattern. And I don't feel that's right. So, unfortunately, this is the way that I've got to do it. So, yeah. But, okay, so you got to measure in 3 measurements from this side in, and the same on the other side in. And that's for our pocket and our strap. Also be mindful that, you know, you do have your correct, like either front or back, especially if you're using directional and things like that. Because as it turns out, it was a good thing I unpicked anyway, because I had actually sewn my pockets to what I wanted to be the back of the bag. I think this one here, the lemurs are positioned a little bit better than on this one. so I wanted it to be the front, or it might be the colour, because I love my purple. So yeah, we do our 3 measurements in on each side, and then you want to flip your bag over, and you've got to measure from the bottom up, okay? And you can either draw a full line or I just done dashes, and that is for your interior pocket, okay? And then we also want to do the same on the back of the bag. So you do the same 3 measurements from the side in on each side, and the thing is, on the back you don't need to do anything, because that is where our really big either mesh or fabric, depending on what you chose, pocket is going to go. So you know, it covers the whole thing, so you don't need a measurement there. So it's just the back, the 3 measurements in. And then you want to grab your strap, place it on your bag on the line that it's meant to be on. Now make sure you have the seam side down, and then just put it straight up like that. Pin it if you feel it necessary, and then I want you to measure 2 measurements from the top down. So that'll be 1 measurement, and then down again to another measurement, and then follow the curve of your strap around, so that way you don't twist it, and bring it down, put it on the other line, so it's on the bottom, put it on the other line, up, and do the exact same 2 measurements down. Okay? And that is to know where to sew your cross for your straps. Alright, now we're going to take our zippered pocket, which is, just trying to see the D&E, well, yeah, D&E, which has been converted into one. So we want to take a zippered pocket. We only have 1 pocket, so take him, excuse me, and it is the inner measurement that he gets lined up on. The middle one, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check that. Yes, that's correct. So not the first line that you measured, but the second one. That's where you want to line your pocket up, there, and it should meet the also second line in that you marked on this side. So you can either clip that down the bottom, you can clip it down the bottom, but the thing is, you know, it will hold it to some extent, but not a lot. But you can clip it, and that will compress it also for you, if that's something that, you know, you struggle with on your machine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin mine also. So I'll put a pin in it up here. Another one over here. Actually, I should move that over, so that way I won't be in the line of my stitching. And then I'm going to stick one smack bang in the middle here, like so. So that pocket's not going to go nowhere. But if you need to, please do compress the bottom just to make it that little bit easier for you when you've got to sew it. So now I'm off to the machine to sew this little beauty down, and what we want to do is we want to start here and use 1/8 seam allowance, and we're going to sew down, and we're going to come across, and then we're going to come up the other side. Make sure you do have your pull in the middle, just so it doesn't become a bit of a pain in the backside for you. Alrighty, so I'm going to go do that. Now also be mindful that the top thread ain't going to show, but the bottom thread will. So your bobbin, and depending on what your lining fabric is, you know, if you've used a lighter color or whatever, just be mindful that this will show to some extent underneath. The pocket goes over the top, but you know, when you're getting in and out of the pocket, if it's for a gift or whatever, just be mindful that you do have the correct color bobbin in your machine for that, so it you know, you don't go sticking hot pink on white or black or whatever. Alright, I'll sew that and be right back. The pocket is all sewed down now, looking lovely. Next we are on to our straps, and they are to line up with the first measurement that you made, and they're meant to be in between, okay, the first one and the outer one, but that's going on a 1.5 inch strap. I didn't do 1.5, I did 1. So the bigger measurement doesn't apply to me. I put it there, but it doesn't have any bearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up with the first measurement, and doesn't cover much of that pocket, which is what I'm wanting, by just wondering how easy it's going to be to sew that with the dip. Oh, sorry guys, you just weren't seeing that. It's see, it's only barely just covering the edge here, so I'm just wondering how it will go sewing it with that dip. See the dip? Because of the edge, it goes in. So I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge doing that. So what I might do is just, I really don't want to lose any size on my pocket. So I do ideally want it to go, you know, along as close to the edge as possible, but I also want a nice finished look. So I'm going to take mine over just a little bit more, and I'm going to do mine about there. As much as I really don't want to lose that much pocket, and you know, it's only about 1/4 of an inch, so yeah, if it gives a neat appearance, then that's what I'll do. And I'm going to use some pins on this. I will pin it there. make sure you follow the curve of your strap up and around, so the seam side is down, that way you don't tangle it, and then line it up the same way. So here is my very first measurement. It should be there, but you know, we have the same dilemma just here. Here where I have the strapping, I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's where it is only the material where it's going to sink. So once again, I'll move it over just that little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, because I don't want to lose too much of my pocket. Okay. So there's my handles in place. Now, I'm going to do something I wouldn't normally do, purely because I've got to flip out my cotton to yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my bag back and my other pocket with the trolley sleeve on it, and I'm just going to sew it down now too, while I still have the correct cotton in the machine. Just saves, you know, the flipping and flipping, because as you know, it's very time consuming. So that is that measurement there, I'm pretty sure. The middle one, and yep, there's my outer line there, and there's my outer line there. So it measures up perfectly. Just a couple of quick pins in that will hold it a bit better, I think, than sounds like we might be going to get a storm, and it wouldn't surprise me with the heat we've been having. Actually came over really bad last night, but it skipped us, which is good. But we did get it, I think it was the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Massive storm. Some places they got 80 mils. So I think we got about 40 here. Alright, that's done, so I'll quickly whip over and sew him down. Now, same deal. You start here, 1/8 seam allowance. We start on this edge, we sew down, then we come across the bottom, and then we come up this edge. Also, don't forget to remember to either, you know, have it tie off, it's not, or just to do a couple of back stitches each time you start and stop, just to lock your stitches. Alright, all done. Getting exciting now, guys. Alright, so I'm going to do the same with this strap. Oh, also, something I wanted to say, with your straps, when you measure down, right, from here down to mark your line, and then down again to second line. Now you can set it up on the back and measure it and do it the same as you did the front, but you also could just, you know, use the other one as a guide. So you just lay it down, run it up, put your marks down, bring it around so your seam is on the inside, run it down the other side and mark it. And then that, you know, I don't know if it would be a bit quicker for you, but I just thought maybe it might. Right, so I think we're going to have the same deal on this one. Can remove those now. Oh, sorry guys, going and knocking yous around there. Oh, also, where did I put it? I was just using it. If you've got animals, or you know, you lose a lot of hair or whatever, I use, this is sticky paper. Where's the end? There. And it just pulls off like so, and I just run it over my project, and it just gets rid of any unwanted hairs or threads, you know, that you don't want stuck in. And because this is a light color and I do have dogs that I do pat regularly and I get hair on me, so I'm just going to use it like that. It is meant to have a handle, but since moving I have yet to find it because I have not finished fully unpacking. Could not really unpack for the first few months, only minimally, because my daughter and her partner were here, and they, you know, their stuff took up room and yada yada, so they have got their own place now. So I'm able to utilize the room they were using for stuff, and I'm thinking about, well, I've already put a lot of my sewing stuff in there just purely because I didn't have the room for it in here. It's not going to, let me see here. Right, that's a better fit. Very excited about this, guys. It's finally coming together. Try and find my little markers here. That one there. You know, this has been bugging me for so long because I promised that what has happened inevitably, I jinxed myself, would not happen when I done these videos in parts instead of a whole in one hit, and it did, and I'm highly disgusted with myself for it. But you guys have been awesome, commenting and everything. But I'm highly annoyed that it has taken so long for me to be able to do this. So what I have decided now, I think the next video I do will be the Changing Station 2.0. And that is because I had a subscriber request it. So I'm going to do that for her. I'm sorry, I have totally forgotten her name. It was quite a few months ago now. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I was thinking I might do Bowl Me Over. Because I actually bought the changing station from a shop, not realizing I had bought the original, the first one. And I wanted the upgraded version with the way she's changed it and stuff. So I had to take it back, but in the meantime I'd bought it from someone else, the 2.0, because the other shop didn't have it. And they let me exchange it for another pattern. And I've got pretty much all their patterns that stock carries, that shop carries, sorry. And the only one I really didn't have was Bowl Me Over. Now, I didn't have it in my collection, so I got that one. Alright guys, I'm off to change my thread. So remember, be mindful of your thread colour. Also, your bobbin colour. Because, again, it's going to show on the inside. So, I'll be changing my top, but not my bobbin. It will stay weight. And I will go and sew the handles down. Now, I'm going to do both at the same time, so I'll do one, then I'll do the other. Where did my stiletto go? There it is. So what we want to do is I would start down here, follow the stitching line that you've got already, on your handle from sewing your material to your webbing. So we're going to sew up that line all the way up to our little X mark, to our little mark. Whoop. So all the way up, there's a spare pen, to here. And then what I do is I come across, I go down, I go back, I come down, I go then on the diagonal, and then I come back, across, up, back around, down, and across the bottom, and end it. And then I'll do the same on this side, and then I'll do the back. Alrighty. Totally done, guys. All stitched down on both of them. Alrighty, so what we want to do is we want to place the back one just out of the way for the moment. Because now we're going to flip our bag front over and grab your other pocket. Now it could be either the mesh or the fabric one, whichever one you chose. And you want to line it up with your marks across, and you can pin or clip in place. I'm going to throw in some pins, I think, just to make it a bit easier, because I used the stiletto, so I won't need to, you know, remove the pins. Wish I could get the hang of this so I'm not zooming you in and out so badly. So line it up down the bottom, bring it up the side, and then just make sure it lines up with your mark. And then I just put a couple in the bottom just to keep it in place. And line up this top edge also. Alright, so we're going to go and sew that down. Now, there's two ways you can do that, okay? You can just sew it down your three sides. So come down across the bottom and up your other side. Or, see, the thing is, you're going to divide this pocket, okay? So you can sew your three sides and then go and do your divisions, which you follow the line of one of your handles, okay? You stitch in that line. Or you can do what I'm going to do, which is I'm going to come down the side and I will be sewing it most likely from the front, and I'm going to come down the side across, and then I'm going to come up and do my division. So what I'll do is, because I'm sewing it from the front and I can't see what's going on here, to prevent, you know, sewing any like that or wrinkles in it, where I know the division needs to be, I will make sure the material is out of the way, like smooth, yeah? And I'll just put a couple of pins down here, and then I'll do the same on this side, and I'll just stick a couple of pins here and here, here and here, just to make sure it's smooth, and that way I can comfortably sew it from the front. And I will just come down the side across. I will go up the stitch of my handle, so I will go up this line here, the 8 inches. So whoops, I shouldn't have said that. I will mark on here anyway where it needs to come to. I'll mark on the front, okay, and I will sew to there, and then I will come back down. I will sew across the bottom, then I will sew up, come back down, across the bottom and up the side and finish it off. So I'll go and do that. Now it's going to be sewn in yellow. I'm not going to change out to the white, purely because I've got to go up my handles. So, and the thing is, it's going to be caught, like it'll all be caught in the seam, so you're not going to see it. And I have the white in my bobbin, so if I sew from this back side, I would have to flip around the sequence in which I have it. I'd have to have the white up the top and yellow in my bobbin. So by flipping it over and sewing it this way, I've got the yellow in the top and my white in my bobbin, so I don't have to change anything on my machine. So it'll just make it a bit easier. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, all done. I can, oop, better get those threads. Okay, quickly. Alrighty guys, there it is all finished. I used the 1/8 seam allowance all the way down and around. Now you can see I don't have any puckers here. Nice good crisp line straight up the middle. So that is our bag front totally done. And also, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I can't remember, but you sew the inner line of your strap to make your divider for your pocket. And you can see line going up there. You see where I marked it, so I knew where to stop. I can just go in, I just used a friction pen. I can just go in with an iron and remove that. But you got your 3 gorgeous pockets. Alright, so we sit him aside. We're finished with that now. Now onto the bag back. And we've only got this last pocket to do. Now, what you need to do is you need to put your strap out of the way, your handle, because otherwise you're going to sew it down up here when you go to sew the top of your pocket, and you don't want that. So you can just tuck it in like that and it will nice and neatly stay out of the way. You could stick a pin in that if you wanted to, just to be doubly sure. Entirely up to you, but it will stay out of the way that way. Alright, so I have pinned some of this down already, just to make this a bit quicker for you guys. Now the only thing you really have to be mindful here is your zipper. So you can place it anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches down from the top. I've got mine at 2 1/4 going across there. So now it's just off to the machine to sew 1/8 seam allowance all the way around, and this lovely bad boy will be finished. All done guys, all sewn down. So now we just got to trim it up. The easiest way would be to just flip it over and hit it with a rotary cutter. I think it would be a bit quicker than scissors. And just line up your edge. Also, don't forget where your zipper is when you're sewing it down. Go backwards and forwards over that bit a few times. I do, just to make sure, you know, it's sewn down really well. Alright, all done. So next up we need to shape our bag. So we've got to measure 2 inches in from each side. And then what we need to do is mark a line from that point down to this corner here. So line up our corner, line up our point. Do the same on the other side. Then we need to grab the back, do the same thing. So 2 in. Bit harder to see on that mesh. Yeah, very hard to see. Hang on, let me see. I'll get a different marker. Alright, I've got a air erase one. It's a bit easier. Once we've done that, we need to get 2 of our circles. Put it on the line. Big one on the top. And mark our curve there. Little one on the bottom. To do the same thing. And we do that on all 4 corners. Of each bag, each front and back. So the front and the back. We are nearly done, guys. Very nearly done. So as soon as we finish marking, we've got to go over to our machine and sew 1/8 around this line, 1/8 seam allowance. Alright, so we'll come around to a 1/8 seam allowance just to sew everything down, and then we trim it up. Okay. You see? And then we will trim it, and that will add our curve, and then it's a matter of attaching the zipper strip and then binding it. So I'll go on quickly sew this before my air raised markers go away. All done, everybody. Look at that. On 4 sides, all sewn down. And I also forgot to mention to tuck your handles in out of the way when you sew around that edge, okay, just so they don't get in your way. Other than that, that's all done except for trimming it. Now, for some reason my video stopped, guys, so I do apologise, but as I was saying, the easiest thing to do would be to grab your rotary cutter and just cut along your straight line. Do make sure your handles are out of the way though. Now in the pattern it does say, you know, just use a rotary cutter to do the curves, but I'm not very good with curves and a rotary cutter, so I would prefer to use scissors. My curve doesn't turn out very pretty if I use a rotary cutter. So it doesn't. There we go. Alright. Next, what we need to do, guys, is center everything. Find the centers of everything. So we need to grab our side strip and zipper strip combo, right, that we made. Our bag front and back. Now I'm going to put that down in there. again, just to keep it out of the way. I should have just left the pins in it, shouldn't I? That one's still done. Right. So how we find the centres is we fold it in half. Bring it over, match our curves up. Okay. You see? Follow it along. And then put a pin in it. Do the same to the bottom. I run my pin, I'll get a longer one. I grab it and I put it in the middle. I run it right up to the end and I carefully bring it up to the top, poke it through. And then stick it down. And there's your center for your top and bottom. You can readjust it. See? And that one didn't come right through. So thick. There we go. And then we want to do the same with each side. So we fold it in half this way, match our pins up. Make sure it's level across the top and bottom. Now we need to repeat on the back. So do exactly the same thing we just did on the back piece. So I'll do that. Then we need to do the zipper strip. So the easiest way to find that is, let me see if I can zoom you guys out. Match up your sides here. Okay? You see that? So you match them up like so, and then follow it up. and then keep them matched and follow it down to here. It's very thick, so you're going to have to push it. Alright, and now you reverse it. So you match these up, these pins, to find the center on here. Okay, on each side here, top and bottom. Now some of your pins, see how that one looks a bit crooked? But you can actually see the crease line. So you just straighten him up. It is hard when you've got it folded and it's so bulky to get the pin in straight. Oh, well, I find it that it is anyway. Okay, pin the pin. You could always use some wonder clips too to hold it while you're pushing it out. Stop it from moving on you. Because it does move as you're going around it. And especially when we get to here. This is where you're going to have issues because it is so thick. Okay. So I've decided, guys, I am not going to release videos in parts anymore, purely because of how, you know, I want them released in a fairly timely manner of each other, you know, fairly quick succession. And it was just like everything was just happening, and it just, every time I tried, it just kept preventing me. And it was really annoying me for the fact that, you know, if you guys have started making it, on my word that, you know, the next one wouldn't be too far away. Well, yous are now held up So that really annoyed me. So I've decided from now on I'm just going to do them in a full tutorial. They might be an hour and a half, 2 hours long, but unfortunately, you know, if you want to learn how to do it, they're going to have to be long because they are big bags, you know. So yeah, I feel that is better than releasing them in parts. And then if something happens and I can't get the part out like it did this time, you know, you guys have had to wait, what, like 8 months? And that is just ridiculous. So I won't be letting that happen again. So I do hope to release one every week, which that is my goal. 1 bag tutorial a week. So I'm going to see if I can stick to that. Alrighty, let's get this now. Can take these out. What did I put that over there for? Okay, so we now have all our points marked, our centered points. So now it is time, we need to turn this little bad boy inside out because we need to match it up. So it doesn't really matter what one you start with first, that's the back. We'll start with the front, but it doesn't really matter. And get this and match it pin to pin with this one. Line it up. Now we get to use our awesome wonder clips. And now we got to go around and clip it. Now this will be on the bed of the machine. Your bag front will be on the flat part of your machine. So make sure you have the flat part of your wonder clips there, okay? Now when you go to sew this together, just remember it is not a race. Actually, been that long since I did it, I forget how I do them, and this is how I do them. I put a couple of clips the other way around, a couple of clips along the flat, like so, and take that one off. And then I go this side and I keep them equal. Then when you get to the curves, you know how much there is left. Now I will be putting wonder clips, you know, in these spaces also to compress it, but just, you know, for time's sake. Okay, so from doing this side, I have found that if you try and match this pin with where it was down here, it's not going to work. So the center is roughly there where your seam is. So you just go all the way around your bag and line up. I so prefer wonder clips to pins, but unfortunately everything tends to have its place, doesn't it? So far this is lining up beautifully. Oh. get in and finish clipping this, and then I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I will sew it down. Remember, when you go to sew it, I'm definitely got to change this table around. Have it bag side down, okay, and you sew like that. Have this part here on the bed of your machine, and have the zipper stripper up, because it's easier to manipulate this to fit that than it is the other way around, and you'll get a much nicer finished product doing this way. Okay, so keep it like that and manipulate it. Alright, I'll do this, I'll get it sewn down, and I'll come back. I just wanted to record this bit, guys, to show you when you come to a corner, flatten it down, like manipulate it like that, you know, so it's really flat and the edges stay together. And if you need to, use your stiletto. And just take your time going around. Alrighty. Alrighty, lovelies. That piece is totally done. All sewn down. It actually went together really well. Much easier than I expected, put it that way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat exactly what I've just done, and I will get the bag back and I will match it up with my pins, and then I'll clip it, and then I'll attach it down, sew it down the same as I did with this part here. I was also thinking about it when I was sewing, and I just wanted to say that when I said, you know, that I pat my dogs and stuff like that regularly, I just wanted to clarify, I do wash my hands after I pat them, but, you know, their fur gets on my clothes and stuff, and I do paper myself when I come back in, but sometimes I don't get it all, and I get their fluff and that on the bags, and that's why I use that sticky paper stuff there to get the hairs and that off. Alrighty guys, I'll quit yapping and get back to it. Well, guess what, y'all? I clipped the back on, and just as I finished doing it, I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I think I really want the binding on the outside, because that's my binding, okay? So it's the diagonal stripe, and I undid the zipper. Now that is the finished side. Like it looks great, you know, or good at least, don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking if it had the diagonal binding on it, I think it would look better. I really do. You know, I like the stripe, and I think I want more of it on the outside of the bag. So you know what I'm going to go and do? I'm going to go and unclip that and reverse the way I'm putting it on. And then I will unpick this and do it the other way also, because like, yeah, you know, the binding will look great on the inside. Sorry about that jostling. You know, and that's how it's meant to look and everything else, but I'm of two minds. Yeah, well, see, you're not really going to see it on the inside. Yep, that's what I'm doing. So I apologise, it's going to be, you know, probably another half day delay, or at least a few hours anyway. If I can, I'll definitely get it finished tonight, but then I've got to edit all the videos together and upload. So I will try and definitely get that done tonight. If not, it will be first thing tomorrow morning. Alright guys, I'm going to get going and I'll get this done. Okay, beautiful people. Well, I got the sides on, both sides. Are done. So I've just got to get in and bind it now. But I think I am thinking that this is going to be a much nicer look all the way around, you know. I'm thinking that is going to be better than just that, yeah. So there's the inside. I will turn it out and everything later when I get it done, because I've got to show how to put the stabilizer in. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick couple of seconds just to show you that the sides and everything are on. And I'm just going to quickly bind it now. Alrighty guys, it's totally done, and I have turned it inside out just to show you all the finished product. I have put the stabilizer into the base here. Alright, now I'm thinking I may have to adjust it a little bit because of just here, so I may have to just cut it down a little bit, but I want to see how it goes when I turn it right side out, because I have the binding on the outside, so it's sitting, it will sit a bit differently. Okay, so I just want to see how that goes, but other than that it is totally finished. So just showing you all of it, and now I will flip it out. Stabilizer has, there we go, now it's flattened out. Alright, pull out that, and it is totally done, guys. I don't have my nails anymore, I had to cut them off because they chipped. But anyway, what do you think? I think it looks awesome. I really do. I absolutely love it. So I do. There we go. Oh, better put the other. There we go. The other strap. That's the back with the slip pocket and the stabilizer sleeve. Now I will say, binding it on the corners weren't too bad here. I sometimes had to just put my hand in and flatten that down. I'll zoom in. Just have to flatten this part down because you have this part on your machine. Okay, so you have it on your machine like that. So it was just a matter of, you know, getting that to go down like that to come around your corner. But it wasn't too bad. Go slow over here. It gets very, very thick. Okay, so go slow doing that. Other than that, the rest of it was a breeze to bind. So yeah, just coming down onto these bits here again. Here. Just go a bit slow, okay? The front, I found my binding could be much better. It really could. Under here, like, see here, it was good. Yeah, I got it just on the outside where it's meant to fall, but then in other places it bounced up and I caught the binding, but most of it I done well. On the back, I should have done it first because I figured it out again on the front. So the back is 100% better. My binding is really, really, really great on the back. There. So I don't, oh, I catched it there. But other than that, my binding is how it should be. So I should have done the back first, but it's been a while since I've done any binding, so getting back in the rhythm of it. So yeah, the back turned out bloody beautiful. The front leaves a bit to be desired. I may redo it, may unpick it and redo it. But overall, I am absolutely stoked with my bag. I hope you guys love this tutorial, and I hope you find it helpful now that I have finished it and I can get this uploaded for you guys. So yeah, but anywho, thank you all for joining me and helping me with my watching me and everything else, and the awesome comments I've been getting. Absolutely love the comments. So okay guys, I give you a challenge. Tell me what you think with the binding, please. Now I know yous have seen, you know, other YouTubers, most of them with the binding on the inside. So let me know what you think with the binding on the outside, or should I have done it on the inside? Okay, drop me a comment, let me know. I would love it if any guys watching me, anybody watching me, if you could please subscribe to my channel. It's telling me that 92% of my viewers have not subscribed. So I would love it if you would mind subscribing. That would be awesome. It helps me out a lot. And I'm going to be doing some giveaways very soon too with some of my hardware. Just ignore what I'm doing there. I was just trying to get it better, but it just wants to jump in too much for me. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some giveaways soon with some of my hardware. Alrighty, so I'll let you know what that is in the next video. So yeah, drop me a line, let me know. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Appreciate you heaps, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.